Now, law professor Eloisa Rodriguez-Dodd prefers her dinner on a half shell. She likes her seafood fresh, and she knows that at her pick, she'll never get a raw deal. It's in Miami, and it's called River Oyster Bar.
The River Oyster Bar is a high-quality seafood restaurant with an informal, warm atmosphere. A place that's just trying really hard to showcase some of the local seafood and also enhancing by bringing in some other interesting stuff. Well, we bring fish in from all over the world. We get oysters from the West Coast, and we also get oysters from the Northeast, and we always have at least anywhere from 8 to 10 varieties. The bar is in the center of the restaurant, and it's a pretty big bar. It's a great mahogany bar, and it's very much an eating bar, so a lot of people have dinner at the bar. And I think everything else feeds kind of off the bar, so when the bar fills up, there's a great energy, and then the tables are off on the sides. My style is simple. I try not to put too much on a plate. I let the ingredients and the product stand for itself, and always trying to stay contemporary on what's going on.
Eloisa, this is one of your favorite places. Tell us why.
Oh, we go there constantly for special occasions and for any occasion. I find it's difficult to find a good seafood restaurant that serves excellent fish, and that's their specialty. And we have found the place where you can get it. There's no, ands, ifs, or buts with this one. They've got raw oysters, which I love, and they've got a very nice selection of raw oysters. I like whole fish, and I like whole snapper. And I usually tend to find whole fried snapper in Asian restaurants, Thai restaurants. And here they had it, but they don't have it fried. And this is something that I rarely ever see. It's a whole snapper, but they have it charcoal grilled. It was a very nice size. I actually shared it with my husband. Very moist, and it was just perfect. We had snapper tartar, wahoo escabeche, and then some oysters as well. The escabeche, what they did was they actually cut the wahoo in pretty nice chunks. I'd say about a ½ inch wide or a little wider, and they served about 4 pieces of the wahoo escabeche, and they had very chopped onions, I believe, and tomatoes. I'm trying to remember the ingredients. It was just perfect.
And then topped with a vinegar dressing.
Yeah, because it had a pickled, I had it as well, and had a pickled kind of, at first that took me, and I was like, wow, this is kind of yummy. It was different from what I was expecting. It was a pleasant surprise. The conch salad I had was the best I've ever had.
Really?
The mixture and the marriage of the lime and the Scotch bonnet peppers. It was spicy, but
not
it was not overpowering, and it was so fresh. I sat at the bar.
Okay.
I like sitting at bars in restaurants and eating. I think your interaction with the service and the help, you learn more. They talk to you and I say, oh, why don't you try this? We're at a table. They might, kind of just go to the next one.
It's a good bar to eat in because it's a very wide bar. It's
very social.
Yeah, very social.
As you said, it's very active, especially it's after work, kind of downtown crowd. So you're seeing all kinds of people.
They seem to be having fun.
Oh,
at the bar.
The bar is always full, I'll tell you.
Now, I'm not an oyster person, but I did order the clams on the half shell.
Yeah, I like it when they serve the seafood just like that, raw in the half shell, without any sauces or anything like that. The sauces are fine, but I usually just have lemon, only because that's really tasting the seafood.
I agree.
And then otherwise, once you cook it, it changes its whole texture and flavor.
Well, when you're eating a raw clam, it's kind of like you take that flavor in, it's like, oh, the sea. It just brings you right there.
I love that.
Well, that was enjoyable. Then we had
salmon.
The salmon was Irish salmon. And I noticed on the menu, they're bringing fish in from all over the place. And salmon is the sort of thing, you have all over the place too. So I have to tell you, that was the best piece of salmon I've had in a long time. It was incredibly well done.
How did they cook it?
It was grilled. It was like blackened. And it was served over Brussels sprouts in a puree of like a squash or a pumpkin. And, well, it just tasted like pure butter, I tell you the truth. But you know, it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious, and it was a great treatment of Brussels sprouts. You know, you don't get that out much.
David, who is the chef and owner of the restaurant, has been doing this for a long time. He calls his cuisine progressive American. He really wants his seafood to shine. In other words, the oysters and the clams, everything that he serves just as they are in their natural, beautiful state.
Now, I will say one thing. I was a little disappointed in, now I'm a stickler for tableware and such, and placement of, especially once you get past a certain price point, okay? And I thought that this restaurant had crossed that price point. You know, $30 entree, you want to see, you know, everything as far as the tableware is concerned to be delivered properly and all that. Well, I used my fork on the appetizer, and then it was time for the dinner, and then there was no fork. So they had to bring but I needed to ask for it.
So the food got there before you got the silverware.
Right.
What I found interesting is we actually ordered a very nice wine, and they went, and rather than serving us there with the regular wine glasses, they went and gave us the nicer wine glasses to make sure to pair it with that particular wine. So they were very, nice. Very careful about making sure that you know, we had a good experience with the wine.
And again, I sat at the bar, and our napkins were changed, our silver things were changed, and they were making sure that we had the proper forks for what we needed. Okay. So.
Well, Eloisa, River Oyster Bar was your selection. Give us a summary.
I think for the price, the food you get and the quality you get, the freshness you get is exceptional, and I recommend it highly to everyone.
Crispy?
I've been there before, and I will go back, and I think it's great.
Gennarino?
You know, that detractive thing that I had about the silverware, you know, that's just my own little thing, you know. Nobody would notice something like that. But the food was handled superlatively, and it was definitely worth the money.
To enjoy the catch of the day, you can trawl over to the River Oyster Bar at 650 South Miami Avenue. It's open nightly for dinner and for lunch on weekdays. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is about $50.
This is authentic Peruvian ceviche. We use corvina from Costa Rica, fresh red onion. We use Peruvian corn called choclo, but you can use regular domestic corn. Fresh cilantro, celery, a little touch of garlic, some fresh Scotch bonnet chilies, and then we take fresh lime. Let it sit for about 10 minutes in the refrigerator, and then you have your fresh, authentic corvina ceviche.